Hey guys, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're tackling a fitness problem that is honestly just beyond frustrating for so many of us. We're going to break it down together, step by step, kind of like friends figuring out a massive puzzle. If you've been putting in the work, but you're just feeling completely stuck with how your physique looks, well, you're exactly where you need to be. We are opening up the ultimate playbook to finally fix the dreaded skinny fat syndrome.
You know that awkward physical frustration, right? You look in the mirror and you've got thin arms, thin legs, literally zero muscle definition, but then there's this pregnant-looking belly. It's like with a shirt on, people probably tell you you're skinny, but underneath, there's a whole world of stubborn belly fat making you feel totally out of shape. Look, if you're nodding your head right now, trust me, I completely get it. It's an incredibly annoying place to be stuck in, but acknowledging that this specific tricky body shape is your starting point is step one, because this is exactly what we're fixing today.
Section 1. The culprit. Indian diet and genetics. Let's look at why this actually happens.
Basically, we find ourselves caught in a perfect storm. First off, let's talk genetics. South Asian genetics have this really strong tendency to prioritize storing fat right in the belly area, especially for men. So you end up with minimal muscle mass in your limbs, but a disproportionate amount of fat just gathering right at your waistline. Now you combine that genetic lottery with a traditional Indian diet, heavily loaded with carbs. Think massive portions of rice, roti, aloo ki sabzi, while being pretty severely lacking in protein. You are literally handing your body all the materials it needs to store fat and basically none of the materials required to build muscle.
And because so many of us are vegetarian, or maybe we just eat meals designed purely to make us feel full, our overall protein intake is usually tiny, minuscule. When you consume a massive amount of carbs without enough protein, your body just doesn't have the building blocks it needs to create muscle. So what happens to all those extra carbohydrates? Well, your body simply takes them and stores them directly as fat. It's that simple.
Which brings us to our golden solution, body recomposition.
So what is body recomposition? The absolutely crucial point here is this. You are simultaneously losing body fat while building muscle mass at the exact same time. Honestly, it sounds like magic, but it's pure science. Now, a quick reality check for you. While you can totally achieve this using home-cooked meals and regular workouts, it requires immense discipline and consistency, especially when it comes to what you're doing in the kitchen.
To actually pull off a successful recomp, you've got to lower those heavy carbs and dramatically pump up your protein intake. Why? Because high protein is your absolute best friend here. First, it literally builds and repairs your damaged muscle tissue. Second, it keeps you feeling full, so you're not just constantly craving snacks. And third, and I love this, it's like a fantastic cheat code, your body is forced to burn extra calories just to digest the protein. You are literally burning calories just by eating it. Plus, even if you accidentally overeat protein slightly, your body doesn't store it as fat nearly as easily as it does with carbohydrates.
All right, let's move into the kitchen battle, tracking and tech hacks.
Let's walk through this step by step. First things first, you've got to track what you eat. If you absolutely hate manually weighing your food on a little kitchen scale, which, let's be real, most of us do, use the Cali app. You just punch in your age, height, weight, and your goal, and boom, it gives you a daily calorie and macro budget. Step 2, simply scan your meals. Cali actually has a massive database for Indian food. Whether you're having butter chicken or aloo paratha, you just scan it or tell it your portion size, and it instantly tracks your calories and protein. And step 3 is where it gets really fun. You're going to use ChatGPT as your own personal nutritionist.
It is incredibly easy. You literally just feed ChatGPT the calorie budget that the app gave you, tell it if you're veg or non-veg, and list out your preferred protein sources. Things like paneer, whey, or eggs. Hit enter, and it will generate a completely custom high-protein meal plan just for you. And if it suggests a dish you absolutely hate, or maybe something you just can't cook at home, just ask it to swap it out. Seriously, you never have to beg anyone for a custom diet plan ever again.
Next up, the gym battle, routine and movement.
So, the magic number here is 10,000 steps a day. Walking is hands down the absolute best form of cardio for body recomposition. But I do need to warn you, if you start doing really intense, exhausting cardio sessions, you can actually hamper your muscle building process. Crazy, right? Start at 10,000 steps, gradually increase that over the coming months to maybe 12,000 or 14,000, but really, just keep it to walking.
Next up is your diet deficit number. You really only want a small calorie deficit of about 200 to 300 calories. So let's just call it 250 on average. This right here is the sweet spot. It ensures you're losing the fat, but you aren't starving yourself, meaning you'll still have plenty of energy to hit the gym hard and actually build that muscle.
And speaking of hitting the gym, if you're a beginner, you really need a straightforward strength training routine.
Enter the bro split. You're basically training 2 muscles a day. On Monday, you hit chest and triceps. Tuesday is back and biceps. Wednesday is legs and shoulders. Then on Thursday, you simply repeat the entire cycle. It's basic, it's highly effective, and it guarantees every single muscle group gets targeted and fatigued properly.
But hey, listen to me carefully on this one. Prep and recovery are completely non-negotiable. If you skip warming up, you will eventually get injured. And getting injured makes consistency totally impossible. So before you even think about lifting, do your arm circles, your twists, some incline push-ups, and walking lunges. And after you work out, stretch those muscles out. Do shoulder stretches, the cobra pose for your lower back, quad and hamstring stretches. You gotta keep the machine well oiled.
Moving on to the reality check, Raju's stored energy.
First, we really need to demystify what belly fat actually is. It's not a permanent curse, okay? It's not a life sentence. Belly fat is quite literally just stored energy. It's simply your body packing away fuel into a biological savings account, basically just waiting for a starvation emergency.
So, let's look at a timeline for a guy named Raju. Raju's body only needs 2,000 calories a day to maintain itself. But day after day, Raju eats 2,500 calories. By year 3, his body has been taking that extra 500 calories a day and thinking, wow, I better store this energy for the future just in case a famine hits. So it hoards it all as an emergency fund right on his belly. Fast forward to year 6, well, there was no famine. The emergency never came. But because Raju never increased his physical activity, all that emergency belly fat just stubbornly sits there.
Now let's connect the dots and reverse engineer Raju's problem. Here is the pure science of recomp. When you drastically lower your external carb intake, and you suddenly have a really high energy output from lifting weights and digesting all that new protein, your body panics. It says, wait, I need energy to repair these muscles, but there are no carbs coming in. So what happens? Your body is forced to dip into Raju's emergency belly fat fund. It literally eats its own belly fat to fuel the muscle recovery. And guys, that is exactly how you transform.
But before we wrap this up, I do have to deliver just a little bit of tough love. Natural transformation takes massive patience. It takes months and months of unseen, quiet effort. Please, do not look at fake, chemically enhanced fitness influencers on social media and expect to get a superhero physique in 12 weeks. Setting false expectations like that is literally only going to lead to you quitting.
Look, motivation will get you to the gym on day 1, for sure. But discipline? Discipline is what gets you there on day 60 when you're tired and your entire body is sore. The playbook is right here in front of you. Track your macros, prioritize that protein, get your steps in, and lift heavy. So my final question to you is this. Are you ready to ditch the excuses, trade in that fleeting motivation for everyday discipline, and finally build a physique you actually deserve? Start your recomposition journey today. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.